I can feel how my old patterns sometimes are still trying to sneak in. What to do to break patterns? Number one, you need to see you have one. And number two, you need to replace old patterns, which ultimately mean patterns, it's habitual behavior, it's habits. How do you build habits? By continuous behavioral patterns that you continuously do. So there is something about consistency and continuity that ultimately builds a pattern. Consistency of having a training regimen every day. Yeah, it's not helpful to like 6 days per week do nothing and then you go 1 day to the gym and give your everything. No. It's better you have some type of consistency throughout the whole day. This is what builds patterns, healthy patterns. Yeah. Similar like this. What is somebody supposed to do? Number one, look at yourself and see yourself. We are all not perfect. But according to the circumstances that you are facing right now today, what type of character do you think? With what do you want to equip your character? That he is able to go through this current times in the best possible manner. What is not useful for you anymore, try to get rid of it and get your new skills in. The ability to let go, meaning let go of ideas that you are having for too many years already. Let go of your opinion. Yeah, if you realize the other opinions are also good. So meaning let go of what you try to keep all the time. We don't like change. The average human doesn't like change because it already took so many years to build all of this up. So why should I change it? It's good. That's why to change something about all of this, for me, it takes strength because it has something to do with you must let go of a part of you. But that's exactly the point. If you do not let go, well then I'm not always sure if carrying on an old identity into the future is working or not. Just as our world and our earth and all the technological advancements are changing, I also think we humans need to be able to adapt according to the changes that's happening, meaning also sometimes changing our lifestyle, adapting towards to it, changing our body, changing our ideas, changing our views, and that takes strength because it always has something to do with letting go of what you know already. It feels really boring that just what you put to your mind and then just it comes 2 years later exactly the way how it is. Nothing better can come because what can happen is dependent on how much you can imagine. If something is not able to be visualized or being seen inside of your mind, inside of your world, that would mean it can't happen in this world. The question is, are you living your life based on fear or not? And this fear is not helpful. It restricts your ability to expand the mind. Fear is restricting you to discover. It makes you stay inside the comfort zone. It means you are not leaving the things that you know. You need to leave the space of knowing, the space of comfort. You need to go into the uncertainty. And this is that fearful part. The more fearful you are, the more you're going to stay where you are. The less fearful you are, the more you're going to expand, the more you're going to discover. Now the question is, how can I now learn to face your fear? Yeah, to face it. Facing pain. You don't have to jump right away into the darkness. Not many people can do this. But realizing, okay, this is right now my comfort zone, and tomorrow I'm already trying one thing that is new to me. It still feels uncomfortable to me, but okay, let's try. Just one step out. Next day, another step out. Meaning, integrate the jump into the uncertainty into your lifetime until it becomes a habit. This is the one way. How to develop that ability to go against the fear. This is one thing. What is the most difficult thing for us humans to face if the status quo is changing too quickly? If you have time to prepare for something, it's always more easy. If something comes too abrupt, too quick, it's difficult to take it. Everybody, no matter where they are, is able to transform something about himself or herself. It's just about the methods and the understanding that, first of all, it's possible. Second of all, there are methods how to do it. And third of all, you don't need to wait for anybody to come into your life in order to start it. So the message is, there is a big part that you have in your own hands. And there's a big other part you don't have in your hands. And I'm just saying, maybe it would be good to focus your energy into the things that are 100% based on your own energies and your own actions. Yeah. This idea of be in the here and now, be in the present moment, it expresses alignment. And that's what very often may be missing. Alignment. Inside of yourself, you think about something, what you really want. You think about what you really want, but your words say something differently. And your actions are also, again, a complete other area. So you think this, you say that, and you do this. And then it's like, okay, 3 areas. How should the power of the universe know what you want if you, for yourself, are already separated into 3 beings? But if what you carry in your heart, carry in your mind, speak out and act upon it, if all these 3 things are together, it's super easy for the universe, or however you call, to understand this is what he or she really wants. Here it is. Because there's no doubt about it. Because it's pure. Because it's direct. Because it's no disturbance, no interference. It's clear. And this is where I think like this power comes from. And this clarity of body, mind, thought, word, action, this you can only observe about yourself in the present moment. And this is why I think it matters in a way. If there is some influence you have upon your life consciously, then I think the best timing to do the adjustments is now. It's the present moment. If there's something to adjust about yourself, to take your life into your hands, let's say, it can only happen now. I cannot determine what is success for everyone. Somebody says, well, success is to be rich. Okay, then after you're rich, you realize, okay, that's not it. Other people say successful is to have many children. Maybe then you have many children and then you still say, okay, that's not it. Yeah? So success at some point is also related to the question, how many things, how much experience do you actually already have in this lifetime? Have you been rich already? Did you have a family already? Yeah? Did you do this, do that already? Did you possess this and that already? So that means already by the fact of how much have you done in this lifetime, experiential wise, can already determine what success can be and what it is not. So, okay. But because we are so many people in this world, and not everybody is having like the same experience, and not everybody had the same chances to actually try out all the different type of experiences. At the end, there's only one thing that we all, in a way, have in common, regardless of what we are doing. And this, in a way, I would call your sense for the quality of life. And how do you know that something is worth living? Because it feels right. So, feels right means, what is it that can feel? Well, probably I would right now easily say it's your heart that feels. But if the heart is closed, you feel nothing. If the heart is open, you feel a lot. So at the moment, if you ask me what to look for in order to have like success, what is successful? It is that you're spending the most times walking through this lifetime with an open heart. The more open the heart, the more successful your journey. The more closed your heart, well, then it's also in success, but then it's the success of the devil. because he succeeded to close the heart. To find the proper balance, how much to remain with what you think you have built up. So how much of not losing yourself, but also how much of giving of yourself in order to benefit more than yourself. So on the one side, if you give everything about you, then apparently you lose yourself. If you don't want to lose yourself, that means you always pay attention that you don't give anything out too much. To find this balance, how to not lose yourself, but at the same time benefiting more than just yourself. This is a very, very difficult balance, or a very difficult question, I have to say. Number one is to, first of all, ask some pretty essential questions about this lifetime, first of all. It can be the question, where do we come from, where do we go, what is the sense of life? Ask this question. And based on that, when you then come up with the conclusion, okay, don't waste my lifetime, then how are you going to make it? So break it down, but that everything that you are doing on a daily basis is still in the big perspective of the answer that you gave to yourself, what is the sense of life? So whatever you are doing, does it still fit into that wider perspective when you ask yourself the question, what is the sense of life? What's the purpose of life? What is my mission? What am I supposed to do? Where am I going to go? Yeah.
Stop making too concrete plans and ideas how your life is supposed to look like. Let's just imagine we plan everything into detail. You plan it so well that actually you know already where you are going to be in 10 years. What's the point of waiting 10 years long, knowing already what's going to be the outcome? Like, you know right now already what's going to await you in 10 years. It's pointless. There is something completely missing that we humans are able to tap into. And this means sometimes that spontaneous things is what is adding the salt, that is adding the spices into it. If everything would be planned, let's put it like this, it's boring. I think it is the balance, a personal balance, or people need to find for themselves about, I am determined, I commit to something, I give my life a direction. Let's put it like this. You give a direction, but what appears along the way, walking towards the direction, this is you're open to. It's a kind of combination. It's not that you like freely float around in all directions, no. You are committed, you have a goal, that one is fine. But along this way, there is still something about spontaneity, there's still something about being able to adapt, being flexible, and also to sometimes immerse yourself into something that inside of your plan just wasn't there at the point of planning. Is that structure and the pattern of you are never enough of where you are.
If your satisfaction about life, your fullness of life is dependent on these things, then it's a problem, because they will not be available to you at all times. When I set myself a goal that I really want to have, I have no doubt about it. I only need to have patience. I need to be clear and calm to really figure out the proper plans, how to do. And then, meanwhile, there is no doubt in that sense, because I feel if I really want something, the energy must be there. My mind must be there. If my mind is there, my energy is there. And there we have sometimes these nice Asian sayings. Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So, if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know, what do you want? What should the universe give you now? So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk, it aligns with what I think, it aligns with what my actions do, it aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. And when everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens. Non-identification. Non-identification is that you sometimes need to stand above you.
and see from that perspective, how can you support yourself? How can you support that person to get into the next development stage, for example, yeah? This is one type of non-identification, but at the same time also means nothing stays as it is. Nothing stays as it is. Just as sometimes things are so overwhelming entering into your life, it can happen the other way around as well. Look back into your personal life. How many bad moments did you have in the past? How many times did you suffer in the past? How often we were already thinking like this is the end of the world, girlfriend left you, boyfriend left you, different occasions, yeah? But none of them stayed. That is like also the other truths behind it. Of course, in this world we are living, we humans and the society, I think, is more easily being torn towards the positive or towards a very certain side, let's say. But this is because of the developments of our 21st century, where there are certain values being propagated. There is no propaganda in learn how to be poor, learn how to deal with failure, learn how to not be successful, learn how to accept the way how you are, not how to make yourself more beautiful and try to stay beautiful. There is a different agenda going on in the 21st century. And based on that, I do think that the mindset also has shifted, therefore, in trying to fulfill the expectations, what is present in our nowadays world. But it's your personal decision. The next step would be whatever you would like to achieve there. What skills are necessary? Do you have the skills? A little bit more nicely drawn. It means you want to go on a mission, but at the moment you don't know yet in which direction you have to move. The first thing in order for you to answer this question, which direction to move, is you need to know your location. This now translated into, so what is it I'm supposed to do? Who are you at the moment? What are your abilities at this very moment? What do you have available time-wise, financial-wise? It doesn't matter. In which situation are you right now? We need to see where is our actual location. At least now you have a hint. If you're located here, you know you need to walk here, east. If you are located here, it's not east, because then you're going to make a long way. So that it really depends on where are you located. And this is why it's from person to person. It's different, and I cannot always tell to the same person, so you want to go there? Go east. You want to go there too? You also go east. No, because they are not starting from the same position. Some people have already some education and some experience previously that will immensely help them to already start from a different point. But where have we been? Skills.
If you want to go deep in something, time is necessary in how much you're spending with something, but at the same time, it's also your ability to observe. I also witnessed quite a lot like feeling inside the people. The mind sometimes I feel is not there. They are physically at a very beautiful place. Physically they are there, but the mind seems absent. Because apparently the mind and the body is nothing which naturally is regarded as being together. And this is the result of why? Because sometimes of the system. Because you continuously look and search for something which is not here right now. So what does it mean? It means body is here, but your mind is looking for something. And if you don't pay attention to this, it can just manifest and express itself in exactly such things. You find yourself actually in a place which is super beautiful, which is offering everything that you need, but you are not going to recognize it because your mind is a step already again ahead of it. And if this type of pattern, if this type of habit and conditioning you don't realize about yourself, I really think you're missing some essential part about living this lifetime, which is about the enjoyment of what you have. Work for things you like to have, do the work in order to get it, But observe yourself at the same time when it comes, when it enters your life. Do you still have the ability to really forget everything else and just enjoy what you have? There's something about balance there. It's really helpful, and especially it doesn't cost anything. This is the best part about all of these sharings and teachings, that it only depends on your perspective. Everybody already has his or her own perspective. But the more perspective you have, the more possibilities, the more choices you have. At the end of the day, you are the one, it's your life. You decide and you take the consequences. If sometimes in this lifetime you feel I'm stuck somehow, why? Why are you stuck? Because you continuously try to move forward with the old patterns that also haven't worked the last 10 times. It's time for a new perspective. And at the end, I see the situation from this angle, from that angle, from that one, from that one, from that one, from that one. So that means I see many perspectives. This is why I probably see many more solutions. And then at the end, I choose the one which I think is appropriate for what I can do, and also which consequences, and they will come. Every decision will have a consequence. The question is, can you live with it or not?
What you can do at all times, every day, is to do something about what is in your own hands. Yourself. Turn the finger around. Do something about yourself. Develop yourself. Invest in yourself. You grow as a human being. You grow in skills. All of these things, they will naturally just follow, because you are starting to express something that people nowadays are not seeing often anymore. You just become the magnet. Why? Because people are used already to average. Every day they see average. Yeah, but now they start to see something different. They start to see another attitude towards life. And so this feels, I think, like a magnet. Taking care of the mind. How do you do this? In order to know what is important to you, it's necessary also know unimportant things. It's not necessary 7 days a week to only do important things. What I mean is, you need balance. You consciously sometimes need to do something where you really feel this is really unimportant. Because it keeps something inside of you open. In our field, keep the body not just healthy, but watch out for methods to make your body really performant. Performant for that specific area where you want to find yourself in. Physicality, activity, vitality, yoga, many things you can do. But there should be something. For every person, there's the right time. There's nothing to hurry, nothing to worry. It's in each individual hands. So why do they fail at the moment? I could say because they haven't failed enough yet in order to make the next step. Or because they didn't see the lesson yet from that failure. There are so many different reasons why people do not continue. But it's just a question of time until they will. Switching the states of mind. Putting yourself consciously into different states of mind. There are different ways how you can put this into practice. It is super helpful if you learn to work in cycles. For example, when it comes to you need a new skill. You want to develop something. You need to learn how to use a new software program, to learn accounting, to learn to do the web page. You want to develop something new about you. The most effective way is to cut yourself off for a certain period of time and do nothing else in between. For that period, for that cycle. I don't think it is a good method within a 30-day month to spread it apart, to have too many things at the same time. Here you make that skill, here you make that, here you make another one. Of course, people say, yeah, but I can't concentrate on one. Well, concentrate on 3. Better on 3 than on 10. Because it's not just physically transforming, mental changes. And they just don't go so quickly if you jump too much. They don't penetrate deep enough for you to have a lasting impression of what it is that you're trying to develop there. Whatever vision and dream you have upon yourself, that you are projecting upon yourself, I do think that you need to have at the same time a commitment. The commitment, and what are you going to do with that identity of yours if you're gonna get there? You are creating because you want to help. You are not creating any identity of yours in order to harm. I think if this is what your initial intention is, then I think the penalty will come. You might reach it in this lifetime, but if you bring this one to an end, if you continuously go there, you're gonna be lonely. You're gonna have everything you want. You're gonna have everything that blinks. You have all the reputation, it's all great, everything you ever dreamt of, you have it. What you don't have is something that gives you real stability, something that gives you real value in this life. I think it is something that can't be taken off from you. It is the connection to other fellows. It's a connection to humans, to animals, to this world, and ultimately the connection of this life.
The mind can be your friend and the mind can be your enemy. You worked so hard for it. Now you have it. Enjoy it. But you can't enjoy it if all the time you think about last week or if you think all the time about what happens in the future. Enjoying what you have is you arrive exactly where you are right now with what you have. That's it. There is no wishing for something more of the future, and there's not wishing for something that wouldn't have happened of the past. No, you're in the present. That's it. And the more you realize this about yourself, the more you integrate this just into your normal being, then it starts to shift. Just bring more presence into present. If I observe myself, the most of the time I'm present and I'm realizing when I'm not. When I'm absent, I realize it. When I'm present, it's my normal state. For other people, maybe it's the other way around. The truth is, you're always present. You just don't know about it. There's some layer on top of the presence which somehow makes you think you're not in the present, but we're always in the present. Just the realization that you are is not there because it is overlaid by thoughts. If you take the thoughts away, you will realize, oh, there it is. One approach that we have at the moment in this world is, in order for us to feel full, we need to attain something. We need to do something. You need to have your diploma. You need to have your job. You need to have money. You need to have the first car. You need to have... So this approach is about you need. It's about doing. But the realization that I was just telling you right now that you have yourself is, no, it's not about doing. It's there already. It's just covered all the time. This time is not about adding something there. It's about this year must go. And that one must, oh, there it is. Nothing needs to be done. It is something we have to undo. This is the Eastern approach. It's the balance. You don't have to throw away everything that you have learned. It's just that there are more perspectives that when you have access to both of these perspectives, just find out for yourself. Sometimes this makes more sense, sometimes this makes more sense. Well, important part is, as long as you have it, you can choose when to use it. But if you don't even have it, you can't use it. So what does it mean? Whatever there is to learn in this world, it's never wrong to learn it. You never know if you will need it one day. And then it's better to have than to need. Now, if you look at your life, what are you? You are the representation, most probably, of all the ideas that other people have put into you. And if this feels unhappy to you, if you are not feeling well into your skin, well, you need to change your skin. Meaning, also starting to realize what actually is that type of stuff. What are these concepts, these ideas, these thoughts, these categories that people have tried to put into me, and slowly start to get rid of them. Returning back to the state, you came complete, you are complete. And now, because it's your life, stop wasting this lifetime trying to fulfill the wishes of any other person out there that have no interest in your life and that actually you also don't want to spend time with them. So don't take their advice, for example, so serious. What to do to build up at the same time now your self-confidence? Make yourself strong. Make yourself strong. How to do it? Always learn. If there is something to learn how to clean, learn how to cook, learn how to wash the windows, learn how to repair the car. Whatever you can do, just do it. So that gives you that feeling there is something that you can do. You're not completely helpless. There are, of course, other people that can do it better, but still, it's not about that. It's about as long as you have a healthy body and a healthy mind, there are so many different options in this world you are able to express yourself in. But in order to do so, it is necessary to also engage in life. Meaning, if there is an option to learn, of course you learn. And then merging this learning together with learn to build up the body. So mentally, you're going to become confident. Physically, you're going to become strong and confident. And before all of this, you have started to release all the chains of the ones that put you into chains that just don't mean anything to you. So cut the chains and then start to use this lifetime because it's your lifetime. This one, only one time. So stop listening too much to other people, how to live your life or whatever. It's about the self-expression of your own perspective about how you would like this world to be. Of course, taking into consideration all your fellow travelers that are on this world. It's somehow always the fear of losing something. Meaning losing something also in terms of fear of the unknown. So what are you losing? The known. Fear of the uncomfortable. What are you losing? Yeah, being comfortable. This is where I see where this fear is based upon. It's the resistance actually against growing. It's the resistance against finding out how big this universe is and what is possible in this world. Because now just to imagine, if there would be no fear, there would be nothing unknown, nothing uncomfortable. So what does it mean? It means you could already see into the future what in 2025 you're gonna do, where you are going to be, which people are going to be still with you. And if you already wake up with conflict in the mind, with unsatisfaction inside the mind, wake up with a feeling of lack. I wake up, I have to do something quickly because I don't have it right now. Whatever it is. So running after something. Why do you chase anything? Because you're in a state of lack. Something's missing. If you would have it, why would you chase it?
How to build a proper, purposeful, fulfilling lifetime. I think it is very much related upon skill. How skillful are you walking through this lifetime? And the more skillful you are, the more beautiful, the more easy, the more playful, the more enjoyable you can walk through it. This is like the whole analogy, how I can maybe express it. You do it with your heart, or better, you don't do it at all. You do it with your heart, chances are super high it's fulfilling. Nothing to look for. You do it by thinking, you do it because of rational decision, without the heart being involved. It's okay to a certain extent, but you're going to reach the limit. Your life's going to be functional, it's not going to be fulfilling. The message in a way is, whatever you do, it's good to integrate the heart, to integrate and ask what is the underlying feeling in your average day. You don't get skill as a present in this lifetime. You might get a talent, you might have a gift coming to this world, maybe from your parents, maybe from another source. You are gifted with something. But if you don't cultivate that gift on a regular basis, even that gift will just dissolve. And therefore, skill means there is some continuity to it, and there is the conscious investment of going through hardship. Because why can't you do the 100? Because you have never forced yourself pushing through your limits. When your muscles started hurting, you already stopped. Yeah, that's why you go to the point where it's burning, you get used to the burning, and next day you continue. So there's something about hitting the limit and step by step overcoming it.
You're angry. The reasons why this anger came up always different, but the anger is always the same. The anger you feel today is the same anger that you felt when you were in young ages. There might be the feeling that outside circumstances are triggering something inside of you, but what eventually comes up is what you have not been able to adjust in the proper way yet. And the same is like ill will. Ill will is a state of the mind. Doesn't matter if it's towards yourself, towards another person, towards your colleagues, it's always the same ill will. It is something inside of you, which if you don't pay attention to, is going to be a hindrance along your way of walking. Go beyond it, I think, is the more proper expression, because we don't try to get rid of all of these things. You don't want to get rid of your jealousy when it comes up. You don't want to get rid of the joy that you feel. You don't want to get rid of your feelings. You want to have a very great variety of different feelings that you can tap into. The only thing which makes the difference is if you are tapping into this world of feelings consciously, or if that world of feelings is just unconsciously imploding inside of you. This makes the difference. So to overcome it means to realize it is there. What to do? You need to find something, the state of level on which you are coordinating, which means you have to stand above you. Learn to get into a perspective where you are standing above you, which means this is not about you at the moment. This is not about you. Stand above it. You see that person at the moment has an issue. How would you, as somebody watching at you, help him? How would you coach yourself, guide yourself to the better version, to sometimes de-identify yourself with this one? If you are caught inside here, I think it becomes difficult.
Anger, jealousy, frustration, how often do you feel them, and how do you teach yourself beyond them?
If I want to, I can tap inside of it right away, and my whole day is filled with it. No matter where I watch around on the street, there's no problem at all for me to generate the feeling that ill will starts to dominate.
Really?
Yes.
At any moment, you could go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I just ask, this feeling that you are in, does it feel good?
No.
You know, it doesn't even feel good to be in it. So if we would say ill will, if at least it would give you something by staying inside that state of the mind, at least then I would understand. But if you watch at it, there is nothing positive, zero. There is no benefit to yourself, and there is especially no benefit to the people around you that this ill will is going to cause. What is the first thing that I do when I realize I have this feeling? First of all, I need to know from what does it come? What is it at the moment that triggers it? What is at the moment the source that is triggering it? I say it's so super helpful if you already have some type of concept, some type of teachings. They tell you already where it comes from, very simply. And this ill will, to 100%, in all its different variation that it comes in this world, mainly from three reasons. Either from greed of not getting more than you want, hate or jealousy of not getting what you want. And sometimes it's called ignorance or not knowing. Greed, hate, ignorance, and especially ill will easily falls into one of these categories, or sometimes a combination of these things. So ill will can be, why does he get it? I deserve it. Why you deserve it? Because you think about yourself, you are the more hardworking person in this room. So what is that combination? In that combination, it is like unfairness from your subjective view, jealousy, no respect towards yourself, so which then also can maybe mean a low level of self-esteem, a lack of self-confidence. It's very often like a variety of these attributes, I think. But ultimately broken down, that's it. Greed, hate, not knowing.
When you feel judged or criticized, or there's an unfairness about you personally,
They don't know better.
how do you not let it ruin your day? How do you go beyond it personally?
I breathe in deeply and I breathe out. And this sounds super ridiculous, but if you really ask me how do I cope with that situation, this is meanwhile what I do. I am very aware that I have it right now, and I combine my breath, meaning something is getting out of me, together with my deep intention and with my deep connection of the mind together with the breath. First of all, they don't know better. If they would have more information available, they would maybe see me differently. And together with that physical aspect, this is what I do. It's like a valve. Before you start imploding, before something starts to rise too much and the pressure builds up, first of all, get rid of that steam, get rid of that air out. And that's why it sounds very ridiculous sometimes to really say, just breathe out. But it's not about the breath only. It's about how serious are you living different type of teachings and methods. And if you are able to learn to combine the breath with an intention, work with intention more consciously, then I think it's very, very possible to get into an area where breath becomes everything to you.
You talk about the breathing. What is the intention that they can think of during those moments, 60 seconds, 10 minutes, however long it takes, to go beyond it? What is the intentional thought while they're in that, it's stressful, the heart is pounding, I don't like this, I want to break free of this. What can they think or say internally along with the breath to help them go beyond?
This is sometimes what people then refer to as a mantra can be helpful. Especially in such moments, you have something you always tell to yourself, continuously repeat. And now these can be different things. If you merge together the thought, they don't know better, together with the cultivation of a heart quality of compassion inside of you, then I think even this thought together with that heart quality and the breath has a very powerful impact. There are heart qualities, yes. So that means this is why it's helpful to really from time to time make clear to yourself again the greatest love you have ever felt in this lifetime. How did it feel? How does it feel? So if somebody would ask you nowadays, so when was the moment you really felt love? Well, first of all, you can't make it on the go. Second of all, even probably people nowadays are ashamed of even getting into this state of being while other people are watching around. This is why you need to do these practices alone, where nobody is watching you and where are you assured you are only with yourself. And there, what you do, you start to travel. You travel into the world of your memories, and you travel into everything that you are still able to recall in your mind that has happened in the past, when somebody hugged you, your father, your mother, your grandfather, your first girlfriend, your first boyfriend, it doesn't matter. Recall the situation where you think this was the greatest feeling I have ever felt when I hear about that word love. Then at least you are recalling it and now know maybe how it feels. And after you have this feeling, now you ask yourself if something like this is existing and you would have the chance that the people in this world can choose in which state of being would you yourself personally would like to live, and what would you wish the others to live in. If you're intelligent, you will only come up with one answer, which is for all of them. This is the reason why out of that loving feeling arises then what we call compassion, which means I know how great this feeling is. I know in which direction I would like to guide my life to finally have this feeling more in my life. Then you see people that are obviously sad, that are obviously having issues day in, day out, and busy with their mind, and you see how they are suffering. And because you see it, and now have this direct comparison to yourself, this is why it becomes so much easier now that you are not going to act anymore out of ill will. So the ill will is only there because you are not at that level yet where you can stand above it. If you feel like moments are too overwhelming for you, number one is get out of the situation. If we get into a big argument right now and you feel like, no, this is too overwhelming, I would now really start, get out of the room, number one. Yeah, so something very practical.
Yes.
If something is too overwhelming, then we say, get distance first of all. Get distance. You need to be able to adjust room and time.
You need to have patience. You need to have endurance. You need to practice yourself in perseverance, discipline, loyalty, faith, trust. So there are so many different aspects that now suddenly start to make sense. The overall development through which a person now is going, it's helpful in so many different aspects that the normal human in the 21st century right now is exposed to. And it has nothing to do with the martial arts. But what you can learn from the martial art training, this can become so beneficial on a daily basis. This is what we would like to continue sharing with the world. It's not about the martial arts. It's about the development through which you as a human are going through if you want to become skillful. And what are you going to do with all the skills that you possess? You do the best of the lifetime that you have remaining in this cycle. That's what you do. That's it. Yeah. There is no religion needed for this. This is not about philosophy. The clear goal is, I don't want to waste my lifetime right now. That's it. This is what I want. And now I need to find a way how to make this real. I think in order to make it real, you need to make it intelligently. You need to start attaining some skills that help you. You need to learn to stay calm, and then you start to create. That's it. That's the vision.